deathcraft in 14 minutes and 40 seconds. Before we really start the run too much, I want to say this is a phenomenal map. I love the aesthetics of this map. Fantastic. This was released in 2012 or something, and this still holds up as one of the greatest maps of all time, without a doubt. So, the run for the most part is for the first two levels. These first two levels are the most important levels of the run, because everything afterwards is super smooth sailing, very straightforward. But these two, I'm looking for very specific things, which we'll get to later on. But one of the reasons that I actually started Deathcraft was because there's an interesting history to speedrunning of this, is that there's actually very little speedruns of Deathcraft. But there is one guy, which is the sole reason why I actually wanted to speedrun this. Goku in Spandex, that's his YouTube name. And I think his best time there at the bottom there is a 15:27. Now that's a pretty good run. That's a pretty good run. But I will say, this is not meant as a jab or anything, but it's slightly unoptimized. And one of the ways that I try to optimize it, just in a very painful way, is going to be a trick we're going to be seeing in level 2, Lava Lake Ravine. Much of these first two levels basically determine whether or not you will get a run off the ground at all. So much RNG, so much open space for the commons to come and slap you around. The spawns are just the spawn rate of specials is just so heightened. They can spawn all over, they can spawn super fast, much quicker than a regular Left 4 Dead 2 campaign. And here, we're heading in with a, I would say a decent town segment. 206. So now we're going to be performing this trick that I was talking about, and I feel like I'm very proud of this trick, but it's a little difficult. So what I do here, stand in this corner, I look at a pixel on the wall, the stone, I throw a pipe bomb, and I jump around 6 times. I mess up the timing, but I still land it anyways. That is such a nutty trick to get, and it's honestly just super risky because the timing, initially when I was looking for ways to perform that trick, because that was one of the, Lava Lake Ravine is one of the slowest places. It's such a long level, but I saw that you can make that jump across the lava, but you obviously go down. It's that high. So one of the ways that you can do, that you can get across that is with explosive ammo or propane tanks or whatever. But the first level, I've tried time and time again. No explosive ammo or propane spawns at all. But what you do get are pipe bombs. Usually guaranteed. So it took a lot of setup to try and get a consistent way, and even then my setup isn't always consistent either. But it really was one of the only ways to get a super big big save in time over Goku's. Because I believe Goku got his from 20 minutes to no, he got his from 25 down to 15:25. That's a huge margin to try and tackle. But look at that. Yeah, I golded that segment. I don't remember how much by, and I think I didn't do too many runs because, again, you will get out of maybe I would say, no, I wouldn't. Maybe out of like 50 runs, you might get like 2 or 3 to actually get through. It's very obtuse. It's very obtuse.
It's through this tunnel.
So I was actually having really good pace. This is a really, really good run. But something unfortunate happens right here. There's a tank here. And I react so poorly to it. Commons block me in the way. And the tank catches up to me because I don't have any pills or anything, so yeah, I do go down. But as you can tell, despite the fact that I die, I lose a whole 50 seconds to this Stronghold. I still do get world record by a pretty fair margin. Again, that's not a jab at Goku's like skill or whatever. It's just, you know, it is what it is. If Goku ever does see this, I hope he does. I do want to thank him for like just doing runs of this. This is super cool to see. And I had recently started doing like custom speedrun spawns. And it's honestly pretty cool to actually have like a time to compete against. And his times were fairly well. Even though they weren't as optimized and his movement wasn't like as like tight as it should be, it was still very nice to have like competition, especially for such like an old map. This map is so old and only one person really speedran it, so shout out to Goku for that. So we're here. We're essentially at like the halfway mark of the run, and now all that's left is literally the 2 longest levels here. Together, these add up to about like 8 minutes, I would say. 8 minutes?
Hello!
The Nether Fortress, I would say, is just... The finale is actually longer, but I would say the Nether Fortress can take more time because what it is you're going back and forth trying to collect items to craft. So it's a lot of backtracking here. And with just like how much time you spend running around, I don't even bother killing the bots because in the end you do have to do like a crescendo anyways, so there really isn't any point to like attempting to wait for them, or attempting to kill them rather. One of the few blunders I do make here is I don't know why I go for the AK. I did not need to go for the AK. So again, we're just going to be running around. I think I got a pretty good spawn because I don't have to turn left at the stairs there. Because most of the items that you have to pick up stone and a stick. This RNG was pretty good. They're on the way, so I don't have to like go out of my way to pick up the other ones. So this is a fairly good route. I actually forgot what I was talking about before the AK thing. But anyway. So one of the things that I want here is I'm looking for a Molotov as well. Sometimes they can spawn here, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you'll want to look for it beforehand. But I don't think I actually perform the Molotov trick here in this run. So if I do get it in another run, I'll talk about it then.
Reloading.
Yeah. See, literally, just because of how long this level is and the amount of time that you're away from the bots, there is a big chance that you will like face like specials while the bots will be far away, and that is a massive time loss. Like Lewis here, the reason why I don't do the Molotov trick is because of Lewis. Like all the bots, they have to go back to get him up. Obviously, if one of the bots goes down, the bots will stop to heal themselves and, you know, take longer. So, we did it pretty good. We did it pretty well here. 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of added time towards the end of this. Because of a spitter. A spitter's in front of the safe room door, and it dies. And, you know, the bots, if they get hit by spit, they just completely move away. So the Molotov trick that I'm talking about here is usually I would down the bots. I would turn the game to expert, and I would down the bots. Because it's just slightly faster, and honestly I should have downed the bots just because of the spitter here. So I would down the bots and then just throw the Molotov on them, just to kill them faster. Obviously a little bit risky since, you know, you're exposed on expert. But again, I get a gold, and I'm 24 seconds ahead of 1527. Again, I absolutely adore this level. I'm actually considering doing another run of or doing a different category of deathcraft, because there's actually a secret Ender Dragon fight that you can do in this. I actually did not find out about that until I was doing runs for this. So you in the town you can find a pumpkin, which you can take to Lava Lake Ravine to get an Ender Pearl, or an Eye of Ender, which you can take to the Stronghold to open a Nether portal. To open an Ender portal, and if you kill the Ender Dragon, you can actually get a diamond sword, and I think I want to do that. I want to do a run where I just get the diamond sword. The finale isn't any different. It would just be a speedrun just to get to the diamond sword, because I think that's so cool. Like, I really just love this map. So this is a holdout finale. Unfortunately, there's actually no real like god spots around here. So this is actually just like, this is pure RNG. You're entirely dependent on RNG here. I actually do get good RNG here as well. One of the tank just like has a heart attack like way out in the ocean. You know, I'm very thorough when I try to do these speedruns. I try to find as many optimizations as I can, as you might be able to tell by the skip and LLR. But yeah, this is I've tried everything, and even like with like tank boosts, getting launched by the tank, or trying to do like really obtuse b-hops to get like onto like one of the mushrooms or like the lighthouse. There really is not. You just want to stay in the middle here, trying to kill as many commons as you can, as fast as you can. Pray to God that the tanks die fast. That's it. Overall, I would say this is a pretty good run. But I definitely can improve. I say this is a good run even though I die. But I mean, I saved a bunch of time, but that does mean that going from here on, I do have to, you know, like make sure I don't die. I do have to make sure that like all of my runs are tighter than this. I'm trying to think of anything else I can really add. I don't know, I was just really interested in talking about this map, just because of how cool it is and everything, but I guess I'll save more of that for the next. I'm literally just silent because I don't really know. I mean, I'm gonna be grinding for a sub 14. I do know a sub 14 is possible. It takes a lot of luck. In fact, I'm pretty sure I could have done it if I did not go down in the Stronghold. You know, I don't really have any future maps that I know that I'm gonna do after this. I mean, I do have a few, but I'm just wondering if I should like save them for later, or just do, because I know I'm gonna do a DE port. That's the last CS:GO or CS map that I can do. And then after that, I'll probably just be doing a few more normal Left 4 Dead maps. Left 4 Dead 2 custom maps. But again, I will be I'm taking a break from grinding deathcraft just because of like just how much there is. Like the RNG for this is just so. The first 2 levels, the second level is just such a pang, or like endurance test of how much bad luck you can take. Because sometimes you don't know if you're gonna land that ravine skip. You don't know if a tank is gonna spawn right in your way. And just like that, 40 seconds. Again, shout out to Goku and Spandex. If you see this, love you, man. This is amazing.